And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship from Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. This event brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. Our streaming coverage brought to you by our friends at PoolDog.com. I'm your host, Jason Bowman, and I'm joined by Double J, Jeremy Jones. Jeremy, it's been a great day so far. We got a couple of undefeateds we're going to see here in just a couple of minutes, but so far so good. A lot of strong play going on here at Strokers.
Yeah, I've been here just watching the last probably 30, 45 minutes, and a lot of big matches. A lot of big matches coming up.
So we're real excited about this next match because it's got two fairly familiar participants, I think, to most of the folks. Mike Leigh, who was our runner-up in last year's U.S. Amateur Championship from Canada, is playing, and he's playing Strokers' own Jose Del Rio. He's the owner here at Strokers in Palm Harbor. So Jose is apparently multitasking pretty well here. He's not only running the facility here, but he's also undefeated thus far in the tournament. So good for Jose, and I'm sure some folks here will be rooting him on. He might have the home table advantage,
home
I
cooking,
think.
right? Yeah.
So before we go to the table, let's look at some of the real quick the tournament format rules. Race to 7, combination 8-ball, 9-ball, 5 games of 8-ball, 8 games of 9-ball. And again, that's going to kind of depend on what the score looks like, how many of those we see. Double elimination, so what we mentioned, both these players undefeated thus far, which means regardless of what happens here, they're both going to be moving on. It's just opposite sides of the bracket that they'll be moving on. And the winner of the lag here at the U.S. Amateur Championship chooses either the break or the format. So the players, I think, just about ready. I'm not sure who won the lag, but we'll figure out who's got the break here in just a sec. And while we do that, while we get ready, we just want a quick word from our friends at PoolDog.com.
Tired of the same old when you're buying billiard supplies? Come shop with the big dogs at PoolDog.com. You want pool cues? We've got over 700. Balls, cases, accessories, no problem. Want help with your game? How does hundreds of free training articles sound? Want to shop offline? We'll mail you a free catalog. Hit us up online, PoolDog.com, or call 866-843-3294.
Not in women's, but all right. So here we go. See Jose Del Rio preparing the rack. Mike Leigh will have the break. Not exactly sure who won the lag there, but I'm guessing, knowing these guys, it was Mike, because I'm guessing he went ahead and just took the break. It's kind of at this level, these guys rarely give up the break now. Like,
yeah, and
see it really rare.
You know, you figure they got to be prepared to play both games, to play both disciplines. So
yeah,
you know, like you said, winner's side, they're playing good. They don't want to give up the break.
Yeah, as we get further and further in the tournament, most of these guys learn they don't give up the break ever.
Yeah.
So we'll see Mike here.
It's just the first opportunity to get one on your side, and never know, you might sit your opponent down for 2 or 3 racks, which is huge.
Teresa Marie, we certainly appreciate that comment. Thank you very much. Said we're easy on the ears. So
there you go.
I think it's that smooth Southern gentlemanly voice of Jeremy Jones. He's got that. He's got just that right Southern twang in the
my
vocal
mom
cords.
always told me a face made for radio. To break it out or manufacture a shot on that 14, that's when those types of problems become even a bigger problem. But he's going to look at the stripes, and this could be that, when you shoot that first shot, you want to secure the make, and the one ball, maybe it was a little too tight or a little too long to shoot at. But we'll see if he can get to that. What is it? Like I said, it must not be the 14. The 14's up table by the cue ball, but I think it's the 10 ball that's near the 6. So we'll see what kind of plan they have here.
Excited to get a chance to see Jose play. I feel like every year he doesn't qualify every year, but he has qualified several times, and he's usually so busy by the time that things roll around. He's either out or it's just so interested in seeing how he plays. Obviously runs a great place here at Strokers, and we've talked a lot about how excellent the staff has been and the food and the accommodations. So kudos to Jose and the crew, and the fact that he's playing this tournament undefeated is pretty impressive.
At that. Wow, that was crazy looking. You don't see that very often.
Might have to pry those out of there. Mike Leigh's going to come over and take a look.
Yeah, and pretty awesome though, because Jose's been not only preoccupied this weekend, but probably many weeks or a
Getting
couple weeks
ready
getting
and
ready for this. So
yeah.
many years now. So, but you know how it is. Even the tournament coming here for so many years, there's still always things to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though you're kind of used to what the format is and
Yeah.
what's going on with how many people are in the room and whatnot, but.
It's kind of like owning a house. There's always something that's got to be fixed, changed, updated,
Yeah.
torn out. It's only magnified in a restaurant / pool room where tables got to be maintained and food's got to be prepared.
Yeah, and there's always that something you can't expect, the unexpected. All right,
Leigh
difficult
at the
little
table.
shot here on the one. Nice shot. Cue ball needs to travel a little bit. Now, funny shot here. You may have the 7 in the side, even though the 9's, kind of covering it up. It may go.
This is the 5th time we've had Mike at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Of course, he kind of made a real name for himself last year when he took runner-up, finished second to Abe Shade, and had looked very strong throughout the tournament. So
Yeah, both them guys kind of making their name last year.
He ran into Hurricane Abe at the wrong time, though.
Okay. Even though his run stopped, good shoot at this to make it without getting position on the 10 down here. Makes it hard to try and continue the run. And again, I guess the 10's up by the 8. Sometimes the colors here on the monitor kind of get me. It must be the 12 ball near the 6. I'm thinking I might just play safe right here, try and bump the 10 and get him up behind the 8. Nice shot. I think he's got a little window at the 10 if he wanted. Looking at the cut shot on the 12 ball, excuse me. So this would have to be, I think, 3rd round on the winners, maybe 4th round on the winner's side. Going for the cut.
Yes.
Going for the cut on the 12.
Both these guys have won 2 matches thus far, playing in their 3rd match here.
And he hit it thin. It was just a really difficult shot there. And big upset in the last round with Brian Parks getting knocked to the loser side. I mean, I'm assuming it's a big upset.
Yeah, your assumption would be correct, Jeremy. When a 5-time champion and a guy that everybody tries to avoid on the bracket absorbs a loss, somewhat, I won't say it's early, but it's early for Brian Parks. I want to go back. Was it Mike Mullins? Is that the name?
Yeah.
So Mike Mullins, I don't know much about him, but better start doing some research because I'm guessing we're going to see him at some point.
Yeah, and I kind of walked in on that match not knowing who was ahead. And I've known Brian a long time, and he looked a little stressed. But, I mean, tournament pool, winning or losing, you can be stressed because every game or any little shot, things can turn around. Okay, 7 in the side here. Could go back and forth 2 rails. He's got a few options on the other balls. Okay, just stayed 1 rail. So it should be the 4 and then the 3. I think he's pretty straight on this 4. Just kind of maybe stunned forward a little bit. Kind of a funny shot to control from some distance, though. He'd like to get the cue ball forward maybe 4 or 5 inches. And that's what I was saying. Now he's a little thin on the 3, which could cause a few problems on the 6. He's going to have to load this up with a lot of spin, I believe, a lot of right spin. Kind of float it in a little bit. Really does need the right English, though. Oh, nice touch there. Really didn't use much of the right, just used a real deft touch. He's going to go after the bridge. Being from Canada, probably pretty acclimated using the bridge. Of course, a lot of 7-foot play in Canada. You know, a lot of people think of snooker when it comes to Canada because that was a big game, and a lot of 9-foot play, but a lot of people don't realize lots of leagues. And
Mike wanted to say hi to all the folks back home that are tuning in, rooting for him.
is that Ontario?
Barrie, Ontario. Pockets at 8 in the corner. Takes a 1-0 lead in this race to 7.
I actually watched Jose play a little bit the other night, not knowing who he was. And sure did play pretty solid from what I saw, and that was one of the nights before the tournament started.
How much do you think of an advantage it is? I mean, playing in your home room on your tables, I mean, that's got to be something, right?
Yeah, that's an advantage. You know, the players here, you know, they keep them in such good condition. I'm guessing from year to year they're pretty much the same. So,
yeah,
you know, over Mike, who's put a lot of time in, I'm not sure how much of an advantage is, also considering it's your place. So there's always that, takes a, you know, keen mind to be able to close that off of what's going on in my establishment right here. So.
Sure. Is there more pressure, though? Because you know it's like your place, and
yeah,
there's probably
right.
some people, your staff's here, and
yeah,
folks rooting for you, expecting you to win. You know, it might make it a little more challenging.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the trade-off is there.
Yeah, guess you could make either argument. So.
All right, broke him great. Got an awful kiss on the cue ball. Don't think he made one, but what a spread. So Jose with ball in hand. And you kind of feel like the stripes are the way to go here. Probably take away that 13 in the side there, yeah. Or is that that's the 13. Probably come back and get those 2 balls that he's standing over, those stripes, and then, you know, when you play 8-ball, okay, he's going forward for the 9. But a lot of times when you play 8-ball, you want to clear one half of the table. That way you're not moving the cue ball up and down the table a lot, and then you come down and clear the other half.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of stay away from that traffic. So I thought he would pocket that 13 and then go ahead and get the 14 and the other ball up on the top rail. I'm sure you said Jose's played this many times.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know his best finish? We do have his best finish.
I don't know his top finish. Maybe one of our viewers might recall. He didn't fill out a bio sheet, so you know when you own the
busy.
Yeah, it's not like he had anything going on. So that's all right. We'll forgive him.
Okay, nice shot there.
I don't recall him ever finishing in like the top 5 or so.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, a touchy little shot here. 11's very makeable on the side, but if he doesn't gather position on that ball near it, that being the 12, I believe, it's going to be hard to get another shot. And I think he's going to have to bump the 12 a little bit, maybe. Maybe he goes right by it towards the 8. Oh, didn't catch that 8, and he was trying to hold the cue ball for that 10 on the upper rail as well, but tall task from some 9 feet away. Okay, so this is going to turn out, you can see it kind of on the 50-yard line. I think he's okay, though. I think he can shoot this 12 ball up in the upper left-hand corner and go by the 6 and the 1 to the side rail and back down for that 10 on the upper top rail. I think it's just laying perfectly natural. So just all about making the ball here, Jason. Good try.
Well, the key words there were making the ball, and
yeah, it's pretty much the premise of all pocket billiards games. But
yeah,
I meant just, the cue ball was pretty natural to get shaped. So as long as he pocketed that ball, I think he was going to be all right. But now Mr. Leigh. And
not a lot of blockers and a lot of room to work.
yeah. Yeah, just got to worry about the 5 ball is all. That's the only one that it's got pockets, but that's the only one you really got to maneuver the cue ball a whole lot to get position. And being a pretty solid player, he recognizes that, so he's going to try and get at that ball much sooner than later. Okay, I don't know if he got a little straight here. If he got too straight here, well, things are starting to become a little bit more work involved.
We apologize. We are having a few technical issues, so we do know the stream is kind of going up and down. I think it has to do with some of our bandwidth issues here at Strokers, but we're trying to resolve that. So the best we can do is apologize, and hopefully, you can stick with us, and if necessary, hit the refresh button if you need to.
Yeah, it happens.
It does happen. I saw a lot of folks streaming matches that we don't have, and I don't know if that's causing any issues or not, but that's something that's pretty fascinating, like at tournaments now, especially at our big tournaments in Vegas, to walk down and see all the people that are live streaming their teams' matches, and I think that's great. I mean, we really encourage that, but sometimes it presents challenges with like the internet capabilities, so you got to find a fine line there.
I wish I knew more about that stuff. Whenever I have a problem with my internet at home, I just go unplug it and plug it back in.
That's the funny thing. When you call them, that's what they have you do.
Last.
Before you came on, I was talking to Jacob Watson, who's from the East Texas, young guy, 22 years old. And we're talking about just how many young guys now have kind of taken over in this tournament. I mean, I'm watching Mike here. He's 35 years old. Obviously, Abe Shade, defending champion. I think he's in his 20s.
Yeah, 27, I believe.
Jacob Watson, just 22 years old. So just a lot of young guys, it seems like, starting to.
I think Jacob resides in Houston.
Yeah.
I think so. Plays a lot of tournaments down there.
Yeah. Nice young kid.
Yeah.
A lot of success at 22 years old. Only been playing 7 years. Oh.
So
just as we sing Mike's praises, he rattles one.
Yeah, just a little quick with the stroke there. And it happens. So Jose in a great position to tie this match at 1 game apiece. Lots of winter side matches going on at 3 o'clock, and we'll have more as the night goes on.
Yeah. I think the big news of the afternoon, Brian Parks suffered his first loss at the hands of Mike Mullins.
And Jeff Abernathy now out of the tournament, too.
Wow.
Jason beat him, which Jeff was known him a long time. Really, really solid player from the Carolinas.
It's another name of a player that's here very often.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think, has he ever won the national one?
I don't believe so, but it's a name that is familiar to me, which means he's here all the time. And
okay, so that same pocket.
Pocket's a ball rattler there. Jose might have got a little lucky though with the way that came out.
Yeah, he really fortunate. So I'm trying to see what maybe Mike can do here. Nothing really offensive that I see, and kind of a funny tactical shot to try and play here as well. 8 ball, especially a very difficult game to play safe at, unless you have, tons of stripes on the table. Yeah, exactly. But whenever it comes fewer balls on the table, very difficult to get the snooker. You might get the snooker, but still even more difficult to get the ball in hand. Okay, is he looking at trying to go behind the 8 with the cue ball? Is he kicking this ball? I doubt that. Maybe, though. He did kick it.
What do you think there?
Well, like I said, there wasn't much to play at. I mean, I kind of liked him. After your opponent misses, one thing you can do, and they miss a ball that really they're not supposed to miss, and Jose, I'm sure, would tell you the same thing, but you kind of make them earn it from there.
Yeah.
You know, they already, got a little body blow for missing an easy one, you might say, and if you make them earn it from there, things can get a little frustrating quick.
Jose pockets at 8 in the corner. He's on the board with his first rack. Now tied 1-1. Jose will have the break here as well. Third game of 5 that we'll see in the 8-ball set. I think just about every match I've seen today started in the 8-ball set.
I've seen a lot of matches start with it.
Day.
Yeah. And actually, I didn't see them, but as I came in, many matches were ending in the 9-ball. So that means they had to start with the 8. I think it's a comfort level, kind of thing. You kind of feel like you might get more shots to start the match, a little more security.
A little more time to feel out your opponent, maybe.
Right. Interesting.
Dry break.
Yeah. Just one ball on the right half of the table, that being the 15. Everything else on the left. So after a game 2 loss, Mike gets right back at the table after a dry break. I don't think he's going to waste much time on the stripes. He's got to look at, is that the 9 he's going to cut? Oh, nice shot there. That hit nothing but net. Okay, he's got a funny decision here. He's got a stripe on the upper side rail that he could shoot. He's going to go ahead and play the 15, and I'm assuming he's playing that so he can play it lightly to try and get at these balls below the 5-7. That being the 10 and the 15, or not the 15, the 10 and I believe the 14 and the 11. So I think that was a good choice.
You know who stopped by today?
Who's that?
Andrew Cleary.
Did he?
Documentary guy.
Did you get to meet him?
I got his autograph.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I bet he
snapped a couple selfies, told all my friends.
I bet he hadn't had to give many autographs.
Yeah.
So.
No, they did stop by. They actually jumped on the stream. He was with Raymond Linares. Raymond's is a former champion. He lives here in the area now, and
well, heck, I'm sorry
they worked together to make that piece. So I was just telling them, I said that was great, and they jumped on here with me, and good dudes. I think Raymond said he might try to stop back by tomorrow at some point. It's hard.
Cool.
He's got a baby girl at home.
Yeah.
Only a matter of days old. So
yeah, that's
he's got his
awesome.
hands full right now, but a couple of creative dudes there. If you haven't checked that out, it's called The Great Unknown Pool Documentary, and we shared it from our Facebook page yesterday. You can go. It's pretty funny. It's about 6 minutes long, but it's worth a watch.
Yeah, and if you just follow Cleary, I don't know Raymond as well, but if you just follow Cleary, there'll be more to come. That's for sure. Okay, he's going to go back and forth and try and fall in that little gap between the 2-7. That looks like it's going to be too hard, maybe. Too hard. Real close. Oh, maybe he can get it. I don't know. Looks like the 2's got him just barely to me. Maybe not. He doesn't seem too frustrated about it. Like I said, I don't know Raymond as well, but I bet Cleary would be really good in the booth, I'm guessing.
Yeah. No, they did great.
Okay, so it doesn't appear he's attacking on the 11 ball, is it? Maybe he is. Looks like maybe he's playing safe. Yeah, he's playing safe here. Great touch there. A great touch there, and here's where Jose might have to take a chance. He can kick and hit the 2 with no problem at all, but that really opens up that gap for Mike to maybe get at that that stripe that's kind of covered up there near the cue ball. One thing about kicking at the 2, he's got a better chance to maybe make something that way and definitely make a good hit. Again, the thing is what's he going to give up just in case he doesn't make the 2 or another solid? I'm trying to think how he can run the cue ball safe, I think. It's more about trying to not leave a shot rather than trying to pocket one. Okay, nice effort there. That was definitely intentional, trying to run the cue ball safe, and he did such a great job on both. I don't think he left him anything on the 11 and nothing on the 10, so I think this is a jump cue getting pulled out. Yeah. And, of course, I don't think you were a pool player, Jason, before you started getting involved in pool with the APA and everything, but to me, how much the equipment has come along in this sport since I started, it's amazing to me.
How long has the jump cue been around?
Well, it's been around longer than you think. Rick Howard with Mace Cues right here in Florida, out of Fort Walton Beach, Florida. He come out with he was a break cue, kind of more of a cue maker, and then came out with a real good jump cue early. And I'm guessing that was early 90s.
Okay,
yeah.
so I mean, not that long ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe around 90.
I want to know who the first guy that pulled that out of his bag at the pool room was, because people were probably like, "What?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The little dainty.
Oh yeah.
Somebody took some flack initially pulling that out. I'm telling you, Jeremy.
Especially if they were playing Earl.
Yeah.
If they were playing,
yeah.
Because Earl, was one. He was kind of
right?
one of the first that came up being able to jump the ball. Period, and that was with a full cue. Yeah, very much a purist. And speaking of what a shot that was,
I would have loved to have been there to see the reaction of those guys when that first one pulled that little jump cue out.
Yeah.
They were probably rolling on the floor until it worked.
Yeah, until they knocked one in, just like Mike did right here. And
nice.
Man, a really, really impressive jump shot.
How are you?
Well, I thought Natalie left that day.
Yeah.
I mentioned that it looked like their bags were packed up.
Yeah, well.
Maybe she got a game down the road.
75 degrees down here in sunny Tampa. She's from Canada. She might have just decided to hang a couple more days.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
A little taste of the weather.
Probably got a weather report and said, heck with that.
Yeah, Mike here on the 8-ball.
Looks like he might be banking this ball the way he's lined up. Maybe not. I would have to say no. All right, great shot.
Cut it in the corner. Nice shot there by Mike. Takes a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, so what an out there.
I like Mike. He looks like he could play on the Moscone Cup, you know?
Yeah.
Of course, he's from Canada, so he's not eligible, but he looks like with that jersey on that he's got.
All jerseyed up, yeah.
He looks the part, man.
Little Billy Thorpe with the beard and everything, the build and all that. And, many have entertained that, when we had a little stretch there where we lost many Moscones in a row, that that the entire of North America should be included. That meaning Canada and Mexico as well. But
a lot of folks calling for who's the guys in Canada? Alex.
And you got John Mora and Jason Klatt.
Yeah.
And more, Eric Horlifson, another great player from Canada, and more coming. But that's not how you
It's not how you fix the problem.
Exactly right. Yeah. And that's not how the players want the problem fixed either.
Oh, I'm sure
I mean,
not.
the Americans.
Well, they fixed the problem last year. Now they just got to make sure it stays fixed this year.
Yep.
Excited about that. Moscone Cup just a couple weeks away. Talked a lot about that over the last several days, how you can watch it.
Yeah.
Streaming platform DAZN, D-A-Z-N.
Great break off here by Mike in the fourth game. And with this spread, I think he should get out. I like his chances. Okay. Would have liked to have gotten on that 12, but not the biggest of deals. Shoot the 13 and draw back for the 9 in the lower right-hand corner. So, again, all about just pocketing the ball. And Mike's a lot more, like we talked about the look of the pool player, he's a lot more of what today's pool player looks like, very athletic.
Thank you. Natalie Jacob, our runner-up in the women's division, came by. Took a nice photo of us back here in the commentary booth. She's a very, very sweet lady. Doesn't speak English, but it sounded like what she said was very sweet.
Yeah.
I understood the thank you part.
That's right.
She seems like a very gracious, nice lady.
Yeah, French-Canadian from Montreal.
It was pretty cool after the tournament was over. Was it Thursday night? She came around and thanked all of our tournament staff and shook their hand and came by and thanked us, which just some really classy pool players here. I think that's maybe my favorite part of the U.S. Amateur Championship is just a little. They're classy, right? I mean, they're playing for something a little more meaningful, and they're dressing the part and sportsmanship. It's just a it's a good vibe. It's a good vibe here.
You got to have killer instinct to play this game well, but in here there's plenty of that, but also everyone you can tell very appreciative to be here.
And as competitive as it is, there's still like a camaraderie too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting dynamic, and I think that's a big part of what brings some of these guys back.
Well, they just
kind of part of that.
They just qualified in September for this, right? So it wasn't long ago, but I got to believe they're thinking about this event all year.
Sure.
Well, not only that, the beautiful weather outside just kind of puts you in a better mood. I think if we were up north.
I'm not going to lie, it was a little tough driving to work this morning, Jeremy. Coming over the causeway, I was like, cooled off about 5 degrees here. And so
it's perfect
just beautiful out.
Perfect. I sent some pictures to the Moscone Cup team, and they're all up north. And
oh, are they?
Yeah.
All right, Jose Del Rio at the table.
Yeah, and he's got a choice here. He got a little thin on the 5, but he could still shoot it and draw over for the 6. He could shoot the 3 and shoot the 5 in the side and kind of roll over. He could roll the ball here too, though, but just doesn't want to fall straight in on the 6 and on the rail. That's the main thing. And got close to that. So now if he doesn't have this angle right here, he may have to elevate the cue, and it's real close to straight in. So the 3, I'm not so sure it passes that stripe in the upper right-hand corner. So I might have to power up here, like I said, and elevate the cue.
Kind of looking through the bracket. You're going to have some real good matches in this 7:30 round. You got this Blake Baker undefeated against Mike Mullins, also undefeated, that's who knocked off or gave Brian Parks a loss. I don't know if they'll assign him to this table or not, but I'm just kind of looking at some of the matches.
You got
David Rowell still undefeated.
Who's he play?
Dave Stem, not a name I'm familiar with, but
and what's the other?
He's moving
the
right
other
along.
8 on the bottom. I know I was watching earlier.
Roger Hawkins, Eric Tang. He's a tough one.
He's
a guy a name that I recognize.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I kind of saw that.
Yeah, their match still not determined. So
if he fell straight in on that 6 and near the rail with the cue ball, things were going to become a problem. And I'm not sure what he should do here. I mean, I think he can get at a little piece of the 3, on the, but I mean, there's no way to really play safe. I might kick long rail at this, trying to make it and win the game. I think, maybe kick behind it right there. What a shot. What a shot. Oh, good effort.
I was about to put that one on the highlight reel there. That would have been a beauty.
Okay, so Jose, a little bit unfortunate there from the 5 to the 6, falling so straight in and near the cushion. He tried to elevate and draw the ball, just couldn't quite get enough on it. Yeah, so if any of you doubters out there think about the quality of the field here, I know Jeff Abernathy's real well known. He's out of the tournament. Robin Barber, really good player from the DFW area. He's out of the tournament.
Oh, wow, okay.
Brian Parks, he's on the loser's side. So
yeah.
it's an amateur event, but high quality
Yeah.
as far as the play.
Some heavy hitters. You can come on out next year, test out your skills. Of course, you got to win your way here. You can't just show up. Preliminary round in September. Mike Leigh pockets at 8 in the side, takes a 3-1 lead.
The good thing, another good thing is, of course, you want as many APA members as possible to be in it, but you don't have to be an APA member
you don't.
to play.
That's a good point. Uh-oh, Steve, I think I'm breaking something over here. There we go. We're good. Updating the score. No, you don't have to be an APA member to play in this event. I think you get a better cost on your entry in the preliminary rounds if you're a APA member versus not.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be. There's no skill levels used here. There's no handicapping, so it's just straight up play. I know a lot of folks on the stream, we get questions. What's this guy's handicap? There are no handicaps here. I mean,
right.
Again, most of the players, if they do have a handicap or if they did, the highest level you can get an APA for the most part. I don't know if there's any APA 6s here. This is really kind of the upper echelon. When we send out the, we'll send out like emails to the different groups of our members, and I think we only send it to players that are 6 and above. So
Right.
Not that we don't want other people if they feel like they want to try, but we want them to be realistic with their expectations, and it doesn't stop some lower skilled players from doing it though, because they just want that experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I know you've probably I'm sure that's how you made your way through the pool world. Is you just started playing better players.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, you got better because you had to.
Yeah, and I started when I started. Of course, the action kind of hooked me a little bit, but I immediately joined some leagues, and it helped my game. And one thing about league is it keeps you in that competition. You're competing.
Yeah,
so
regularly.
Yeah, so it's
kind of on the calendar every week.
Yeah, and you kind of, it kind of molds you a little bit. If you're one that, like when I was younger, I wouldn't say I had a temper, but it wasn't. I wasn't as calm as I am now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it helped me in that format.
Sure.
It helped me to realize that, which I knew in sports. I always played sports that. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And so you just got to take what you could from it and try and get better.
For me, league, I like the team aspect of it.
Me too.
I grew up playing team sports, and I was never so much into the individual sports like golf or pool.
Tennis,
pool's an individual sport at the table, but unless you're playing doubles, obviously. But, the team concept that comes with league, for me, that's the draw, right? I like having that kind of camaraderie from the team sport, so.
Yeah, it's kind of like when people ask me about, what's my best feelings in professional pool, and been fortunate enough to win some tournaments, that's for sure. But the Moscone Cup, just the team, plus the nerves. You're playing for your country, you're playing for your teammates, you're playing for a lot of guys that didn't have a chance to make the team that year.
Yeah, a lot of guys that never had a chance to win it even when they were there. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah, team sports are definitely the best, and.
It's always nice to be able to celebrate, somebody else to experience the same joy that you're experiencing, right? That's the whole point of the team concept. So.
Yeah, and it's it's the same both ways.
I'm pumped now, man. I'm ready to grab my cue stick. Let's me and Steve. Let's go play some. Let's go find 3 other dudes. And
Steve's a sleeper.
I guess
probably,
I guess we got some work we got to still do here, but next time.
Well, the table's 3-speed. Is that what you said? Well, that ain't that bad. Well, the tables here will be taken most of the night and all of tomorrow. All right, so the solids, getting after the solids. He made a nice opening combination with the solids and then kind of got in a funny spot, had a miss. And then Mike was in a bad position as well. Returned the table to Jose, and one that Jose should get take down here. He's going to take the 5 away. Probably come down table for a choice on either the 7 or the 4, leaving the 6 last to get on the 8.
Bruce, I see your question that says percentage of winners APA versus non-APA. I'm guessing you mean
In this
champions
event,
that
yeah.
were APA. I don't know if I have good data on that. I know we've had a few, more than a few, that have won that weren't APA, that like started playing APA after they played in the U.S. Amateur Championship. So,
Yeah.
you know, they were really one of the better players from their area, and they were always like, I don't know. And then I think they kind of got a taste of what we do here, and they decided they wanted to, sometimes in Masters or
Yeah,
what have
you know, and probably a lot of people don't realize that, you know, the APA really does, you know, offer some type of playing for all levels, you know, that are amateur levels. You know, professional levels, maybe not so much. But, you know, there is something out there for everyone that plays recreationally to be involved with the APA. And when I brought that up earlier, you know, of course, like everyone to be APA members that plays in this event, but you don't have to start out that way.
Nope.
All right, a nice stroke, nice shot right there. So it's a choice here. Does he move the cue ball back and forth, kind of maybe to where, leave the cue ball where the 7's at now to shoot the 8 in the lower left, or does he draw back and play for one of the side pockets? Probably the side, but he's got to worry about getting behind the 11 or behind the 10. Okay, a nice little kiss on the 8 there, because I think he was going a little bit towards that 10 ball. And this is the last rack of the 8 ball for this match, so we'll turn it up here in the next several games with a little 9 ball.
Holy cow. Whew. I was just handed a score sheet. We talked about Brian Parks, took a loss. I don't think he took the loss too well because he came back and won 7-0 in about 15 minutes. Jeez. All right, so he didn't care for that loss early on.
Yeah,
Holy
right.
cow. Bill came and showed me the score sheet. Said it's maybe the fastest match we ever had come in. 15 minutes, 7-0. Wow.
Well,
Meanwhile, Jose Del Rio.
Yeah. Speaking of fast, we're going to pick it up with a little 9 ball here for the remainder of this match. And this is the winner's side still.
Jose now trailing by 1 game.
So someone will have to lose this match, but both players will be back.
That's right. Wow. 7-0 in 15 minutes. I wonder if the other guy shot. I mean,
Probably not much.
yeah. Well, yeah. So Brian Parks still alive here at the USAM. Got the 9 ball moving a little bit, but pocketed what the
2
couple
balls.
There
Yeah.
you go.
He's got either a rail first, maybe a curve shot on the 1, possibly a jump shot. Jose will give it a look before he decides. Okay, he's going to go to the jump cue. I don't blame him. I mean, pretty difficult spot to roll out here with the 1 over the upper corner. Really full hit, though, from some distance.
Oh, no.
Okay,
So
I
he
think
avoids the foul. Maybe not too bad.
yeah.
Let's see.
He's left him a look at the 1. Kind of depends on. I would entertain trying to draw off the 1, maybe pocketing that 4 in the side with a kiss shot here. He could bank it cross corner, that being the 1. I don't think he'll play some type of combo, I don't think. I think he's going to try and get at the 4. Maybe not. He's not really drawing it. Maybe just the cross corner bank. I think Jose's just going to come to the end rail with the cue ball, trying to use maybe the 7 as a snooker. Oh, he banked it. Almost made it. I think he was just trying to get the snooker. Probably didn't realize the 1 could even get possibly that close to the hole from where he was. Don't think he was trying to bank it in. It's hard sometimes when you don't know the players, just because you don't know the way they think, all of them. And okay, nice shot. Cue ball's going to overrun a little bit for the corner, but he's got the side. He's got the 4 over the opposite side, so he should run the cue ball some 3 rails here. Right between the 7-9. Okay, that needs to go a little bit, and it did. And I believe this is the first match for both of these guys today. Is that correct? I think so.
Let's look.
So, you know.
Go to my trusty CompuSport app here.
I'm pretty sure anyways, if I remember correctly. And these guys,
You're kind of a bracketology expert, too. You kind of know the.
I kind of just pay attention a little bit here and there.
Yeah, they played. So he last played last night at 7:30.
7:30,
So
yeah.
they've had a better part of the day off.
Yeah, so that's getting at that. Still, you know, first match of the day, probably trying to get a little more comfortable still.
Mm-hmm.
That time at the table is huge, and, you know, it's been packed here ever since Wednesday when the ladies' event started.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges. You can't really. I know some of the guys will go down the road to Crooked Q and some of the other places that are close by. Bill and I were talking last night at the hotel. It's a great hotel on the water, but they got a little bit of convention space. So I don't know if there may be an opportunity to bring a couple tables in next year that, so if they're at the hotel, can hit some balls on. Of course, when there's 128 of them, 2 tables doesn't go a long way. But
yeah, you might be causing a problem over there. But
all right, so Mike pockets the 9 in the corner, takes a
4-2
lead over Jose Del Rio.
And that's what I was going to say is that I've been so impressed with the amateurs, how dedicated they are, because many of them, I talk to a lot when you get a little time away from the stream, and they're all going to other places to try and stay in stroke.
Yeah.
Try and get a bunch of table time.
They don't hit the beach till they're out of the tournament. They're playing pool up until then. Crooked Q, we used to do the women's division down at Crooked Q.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a real nice place down the road. I don't think they do smoking in there either. I think it's a if I remember right, but keep a nice clean place there.
Well, Mike's surveying the rack, and we saw how he broke in the 8-ball, really broke him well. Expect the same in the 9-ball.
You remember a place down here called Hammerheads?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that place is gone. We were talking about it. Who was I was just talking about it with somebody. I don't know if it was Raymond and Andrew or if it was Jacob. But it sounded like that place is no longer around.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, I've been there 20 years anyways. But it's amazing, Tampa, though. There's a lot of little towns, and which makes up
the 3 cities here. You got like Tampa, then Clearwater,
St. Pete. Yeah, but there's always surprising to me how many more pool facilities there were over here on the coast, and always a lot of pool rooms in the Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater area, and Capone's right down the road. And just imagine this Highway 19 itself, how many places there are just right on this road. I think he rolled out a little too far here and left him a shot at the 1. I think he wanted to roll out a little more to the kick shot on the 1. I think Mike can make this. Now he needs a little speed on the cue ball because the 2 doesn't pass the 4, I don't believe. Maybe it does. Sure looks like it from our monitor. It didn't. So it looks like he's eyeing up a pretty tough back cut here. Now, the one thing that makes you want to shoot at a ball like this, and I don't blame him for shooting, is because position on the 3 should be fairly easy with the 3 near the pocket. So there's definitely some reward. All right, so we'll kind of get Jose's the first look at Jose in the 9-ball part. Now Jose's owned this room for some time, right? Is he
Yeah.
the original guy?
As far as I know, there used to be another location that was in Tampa, so he had two. That place closed in 2011-ish, somewhere in there. Because that's where the USAM originally was down here, was over at the other place. A little bit bigger. But, Tampa's a growing city, so a lot of times what happens is rent goes up, right?
Oh,
Some of these places that are in these kind of strip mall type areas, and as the real estate market improves, rent goes up. So I don't know. I don't remember specifically if that was the issue with Jose. I just know a lot of times that can be what happens in markets like that.
Well, and having two places, depending on your market area, but pool room really has to entertain doing a number of things to be a successful place. Like they have. I looked here before. Of course, it wasn't happening this week, but they have karaoke on Wednesdays. They have this on that and leagues and whatnot.
Yeah, you got to keep it full.
Yeah, and
on the slow days.
Exactly. You have to constantly, be doing things to get people in your doors.
Yeah.
So
I think they're good at that here too.
Yeah,
it
seems like it.
I mean, they've got like a late night crowd that'll come in, and they do. As soon as we end on Sunday, they've got some kind of Sunday night, like I don't know if it's league or tournament they do.
Yeah.
Literally as soon as we finish and start tearing down, there'll be people playing on tables. We were setting up, and as soon as they opened one day, there was a number of seniors that came in and were on every table. So
sure,
they keep folks in here kind of, I don't want to say round the clock, but as close to it as they can.
Well, I think they're really
smart.
Really good restaurant.
Food
helps all that
great
for
food
sure, and they serve late. They go till like
helps.
1:30 in the morning on the food. So.
And they make so much. I had for breakfast, I had steak and eggs.
Yeah.
I got the steak tips with
well,
the
eggs. You didn't tell me about
I
all
know.
that.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow.
Well, I had a bacon, egg, and cheese yesterday for breakfast here, and it was really good.
Great food. I gain all kinds of weight when I come here, though, is the only downfall. It's depressing.
Go run on that beach.
Yeah.
All right, a 2-rail. Looks like he's going 2 rails with top inside, so speed is crucial with the 7 being there. It looks pretty good. It looks actually like perfect. Really nice shot there. Jose taking a deep breath, knowing that all of these now trailing by 2 games, big shots. Looks like he's going to pull the cue ball a couple rails around with a 7 in the opposite corner. Now the 8 does go in the side. The one thing about playing for the 8 in the side, he'll have to hit the 7 pretty easy. A lot of times you stay away from that real light one. So I may like him pulling the cue ball around a couple rails here and trying to play the 8 in the same corner pocket. Of course, angles kind of fool us. We're not right there by the table. We're more of in a remote area here in the pool room. Like I said, a lot of people, and this angle tells me he hitting it easy, holding for the side isn't that hard. The problem is, see how it's got him kind of, or the cue ball's going kind of away from the 9 a little bit here. So he may have to spin this with a lot of inside. He may just lay it up right there and take the shot on the 9 or go 3 rails for position. Well, it looks like inside English. Coming across with the cue ball on the side he's on now. Watch out. Watch outside pocket. Oh, little. The owner knows exactly where those side pockets are at.
Nice.
I really like his routine and demeanor around the table. Not too slow, but definitely settling himself.
Pockets at 9 in the corner there.
Great out. We could hear a little applause, so definitely some fans here.
Once again, Jose pulls within just 1 rack. Jose will have the break here.
Now, what was your first match this morning? 10:30 for the commentary.
First match we did was 10:30. Jason Richco and James Coleman.
9-ball. Oh, nice break off there.
Yeah, Jason Richco won that match, but I think you heard what he said about that match. I don't know if he should have won. He had a couple really lucky breaks late in the match, and so. But hey.
But then he went on to have a big win in the last round over Jeff Abernathy.
Yeah.
Jeff that used to play, some pro events, and then he plays the Derby, and this was some years ago, but man, a solid player from the Carolinas. Oh, and that was definitely intentional, even though it's just a small percentage chance of it happening. But
Jose getting a little tricky there. We are tied at 4 in this race to 7.
Well, Jose probably said to himself, I've scratched on this shot so many times in that side pocket right there that I know exactly how to get the cue ball on the 9.
Jose with the break again here.
Oh, hit him great again.
Look at that.
Yeah, hit him great again. The 2's going to get in front of the side, and he's going to have a prime opportunity.
3 balls on the break.
Yeah, prime opportunity to get his first lead.
Starting to sense the confidence in Jose now.
Yeah, it's just like anything when, you can tell he played a heck of a lot of pool at one time in his life, and then of course owning a room. It's almost like when you buy your table, kind of like, first little time you play a little bit on it, but then it kind of becomes a laundry basket sometimes. Well, Jose now owning the pool room for many, many, many years, probably doesn't get to play near as much as he used to.
I'm sure. Oh.
Okay, that's going to be upsetting, and very unexpected, I'm sure. So I don't think Mike can do a whole lot with the cue ball here. He's just kind of got to roll the 4 in and take the long distance shot on the 5. It's just a matter if the 6 passes the 8. I mean, I know that's a couple balls away, and you can't really do much, like I said, but it's good to know. So again, he should just roll this in and take the long distance shot on the 5. And when I say just roll this in, that's still difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to make it sound like it's a hanger by any means. All right, nice shot. And a thin cut from 8.5 feet away, so can't take his eye off this one. But the angle says he's go up and down the table like a medium speed, plenty of angle, so the cue ball should move pretty easily. Okay, caught it a little thick, so it's going to catch the cue ball is going to catch a route that he didn't quite want, and he wanted to get much closer to the 6 ball, but anytime you shoot the object ball to a portion of the pocket that you weren't expecting, really changes a lot about the cue ball, and he's really got to watch out for a scratch here if he's shooting top English. Scratch in the opposite corner. Yeah, and that's what will happen. Just like we talked about the other day, you know, you kind of try to cheat the shot a little bit to help the cue ball, and I think he felt like, you know, I'm coming close to that scratch, so he tried to put, you know, kind of red line it as far as making the 6 in the corner and try to use every bit of the pocket, just barely overcut it. So they should just kind of stop there for the 8 in the side. You don't have to go forward here if you want. It's kind of up to you. You could hold the ball for the 9 in the lower right or go past the 9 and take the little cut shot in the corner.
Jose a 9 ball away from taking his first lead of this match. Pockets that 9 in the corner. Takes a 5-4 lead.
And I believe this is to get, this will have to be the 3rd round we said on the winner's side.
Yes.
So this is to get to the final 16.
Winner of this match will play. Let's see when they play again. Tonight at 10:30. Wow, it's going to be a late night for the winner of this one.
Okay, so maybe this gets them to the final 8 of the winner's side. Is that correct?
Let's see. A little hard to
Oh,
navigate
maybe
here.
not. Maybe
Yeah.
it is the final 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the final 16.
Break there by Jose.
Yeah, nothing
Nothing to
down.
show for it, though.
Mike doesn't have much on the 1 at all. He can see maybe a 1/3 of it or so. Hard to really thin the ball and run the cue ball safe. Could bank it around to maybe draw the ball, keep it on the end around, push the 1 around maybe near the 6 and the 3, something like that. But always the danger of that 9 being there. So might see our first push out of the match.
Want to make sure I recognize some of our guest commentators today. Raymond Linares and Andrew Clear were here with us this morning. Richard Andrews was also with us, calling his son Daniel's match. That was kind of cool earlier today. Dad
How did
commentary.
that work out?
Not the way they'd hoped,
Okay.
unfortunately. But I still think they appreciated the experience of kind of
Yeah.
having it, being able to share that. And then, of course, we had Jacob after that, Jacob Watson.
And Jacob's still
Joined
doing
us.
well in the tournament.
Jacob still, he plays, let's see, what time is it? 4 o'clock. He plays in about 30 minutes here.
Okay,
So
winner's side also, I
he's
think.
playing James Adams, I believe, who lost a round earlier to Eric Tang. So
Oh, it is loser side.
that's
then.
going to be a good match there.
Watch out, cue ball. Watch out, cue ball. Wow, so perfect speed. Going to get the short cue out. Nice solid hit on the 1. Just going to give up a little bit of the pocket on the 1 by the 2 and the 5. I think Jose will shoot at this. Offers natural position. I believe the 2 goes by the 5 as well. That's what he's looking at right now. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe he'll have to play some type of kiss shot coming off the 2 and clipping the 5 in the pocket. Jose in a really good spot, I think, to get on the hill here. I mean, he's got a lot of work ahead of him, but you can see a 3-9 possibility, an early winner.
This would be a big win for him. Again, we talked about Mike Leigh was your runner-up last year at the U.S. Amateur Championship, so he's strong. Both these players undefeated. That's going to change here in the next several minutes, but both will still be alive in the tournament. They're just going to go their separate ways on the bracket for a while, and one will have to fight their way through a few more rounds.
All right, he's got a nice little one-rail angle to come between the 5 and 7 all the way down for that 3-9 combination. Well, looks like speed is real nice, and he stayed somewhat off the rail. So perfect speed on the cue ball. He'd like to be a little more off the rail to where he could hit this with like a low English and a little bit more, you know, a little bit more speed on the shot. Anytime you're hitting top near the rail, you tend to not want to hit it as hard. I like his chances, though. Great shot, 5-5.
All tied up once again. Mike will have the break. It's a pretty good afternoon matinee here, Jeremy, with Mike Leigh and Jose Del Rio. Jeremy's going to be hanging out with you guys for the better part of the evening here in the streaming booth. You might pull some players in. You might have a few stop by. They really like to get in here.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to hear what they have to say.
Kara will be here running the show for you.
Lots of pressure on her.
Yeah, don't mess it up, Kara. Kara was here all night bringing you guys the stream while Jeremy and I got out here a little early. We were a little worn out from the long day of finals before, but Kara was here. She kept quiet, but I saw her on the comments. She was laying down the law in the comments. We were proud of her. She don't mess around.
Now, does she know all the pool lingo and all that? I mean,
she's learning quick.
She's got it. She's
learning quick.
Okay, quick learner.
One of our talented marketing folks at APA.
Okay, snookered by the 9 with the 7 hanging, the 2 so open. Very difficult place to push out. Not sure where I'd push out here. I mean, you'd like to push out and tie something up, kind of, you know, anytime you have to push out, you're looking to prolong the game because it's just like having the worst of it in anything. You're trying to make the game longer, like a football game when they're down. They try to make it longer and so on and so forth. But here, very difficult situation to push out. You could tie up the 3-6, but you don't want to leave that easy of a starter on the 2 and the 7. So he's going to kick at this, and I don't blame him, really. Oh, he is rolling out. I think he's rolling out to a jump, and, man, what a tough one. I generally almost always pass these back.
It looks like that's what Jose's going to do.
Jose a little older than Mike, so more along the lines of probably my era of pool to where you didn't jump at these very often.
Yeah. The push out's kind of fascinating, you know, the strategy there, knowing, you know, where.
Well, you don't probably know this, but that's how the game used to be played full time.
Oh, yeah?
It's called 2-shot push out, meaning during the game at any moment, not just after the break. But if you got snookered or your person played safe on you, you could push out and they had the choice to take the shot or not. Yeah. Tournament play kind of changed that with the Filipinos. They played 1 foul and 2-shot, you know, takes a little longer. It's not as cut and dry as 1-shot foul for tournament play. So that got changed probably. Wow, nice shot here. You know, early 80s, I think, maybe, something like that.
The evolution of the game.
A little before my time. I only played 2-shot shootout one time.
2-shot shootout.
2-shot push out, whichever. There's, you know, A lot of names for things. Just like
Kinda
roll
like
out,
two
push
shot
out.
shootouts.
Yeah.
Got a catchy.
Well, that's what it was based behind because you rolled out to tough shots, or if you were like really good at thin cuts, you would be rolling out to a thin cut, hoping it was all about shot making basically is what the game was based behind.
Dana Patton seems to be a fan of the double rollout.
Yeah, well, a lot of people
one
are.
of our
believe
league
it or not,
operators in the Metro East area, Illinois. She's going to be at the Moscone Cup.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we'll see you out there, Dana.
Well, we're playing one foul out there, Dana. I'm sorry.
She and her husband Bruce, I think they're celebrating a big anniversary, so they're coming out.
Cool.
Making a little anniversary trip out of it. Going to be there all through the Thanksgiving week. So, well,
a little unfortunate. He made a really nice kick shot actually, and somehow got behind the two and scratched. There's gives and takes to the game of two-shot shootout. A lot of people, because like you could shoot at a shot, and you're not. If position didn't have to be so much of a worry, because if you snookered yourself, you just push out again.
Mm-hmm.
So there were like pros and cons to the game.
Yeah.
You saw a bit more shot making, I heard, in the two-shot shootout, but again, position play didn't have to be so much emphasized. So. Okay, he's overran a little bit here, so he's got to make a decision. Do I just kind of dink it in real lightly, or do I go up to the top rail? He'll probably just hit it real light.
Gary, I don't know the score on table 6. If Steve pops his head back here, I'll see if he can check on it. I think we had to pull the bonus table down because of some bandwidth issues with the internet. I think that was the problem we were having a little bit earlier with this match.
So are we only running one right now?
For now, yeah.
Okay, well, that's a much better stroke. He had a miss on a similar shot earlier in the match where just got a little quick with the stroke, but there, man, real clean. Okay, don't have to do much. Don't overdo it with the 7 hanging. You can see that 9 over on that side rail near the side pocket. One of the more difficult places for the 9 to end up. You don't want to have to shoot it all the way down past that side. You'd like to gain position on that 9 for the lower left-hand corner, the same as the 7. Just depends on what angle he gets on the 8. And that looks real nice. He can come one rail across with no problem. So Mike, who's looked pretty solid the entire match, where it seems Jose's getting better as we get nearer the finish line. I've seen that a lot from guys that obviously good pool players but don't get to play a lot sometimes, Kind of blood gets going a little bit. They feel the heat of the battle, and they kind of return to 15 years ago or when they played a lot. Should just be one rail cross, maybe catching that second rail falling somewhat straight in on the 9.
We're working on that update on table 6. I'll see what we can find out. I did not check on table 4. Now everybody wants a score update. All right, watch out.
Oh,
no. Jose pockets that 9 but scratches.
Wow. Well, I know it was deflating to me, so I know that's deflating to him as well.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, and he wanted to put a little inside English on it. That when the ball's on the rail, that's a little more secure way to make it. Probably just didn't anticipate getting that much on the ball.
Yeah. Any chance you get an update on the Abe Shade match? Steve will see if he can get an update on that one.
I'm sure that's still winner side.
Yeah, we would have heard.
All of Palm Harbor would have heard probably.
6-4 in favor of Stovall on table 6.
Over Shade?
There we go. No, that's a different match.
A different one, okay.
So Stovall 6-4 in his match on table 6 in the lead on the hill. Hopefully that was what you were looking for. Yeah, Abe Shade still on the winner's side. He's playing Greg Romero over on table 4.
All right.
And here on our table, yep, Mike Leigh on the hill after a tough circumstance there for Jose. Pocketed that 9, scratched.
Funny little shot here. I would keep it simple and just roll to that left side rail and try and shoot the cue ball by the 5 and 6, getting at the 2. If he moves across or tries to come down, he's got to make sure he gets there. Okay, he had plenty of angle. Plenty of angle here.
The update they gave me on Abe Shade, currently leading 4-3 over Greg Romero. Romero currently at the table.
So we'll keep you around tonight, Jason, for all the outer
Run
updates.
Around, yeah,
there you go. All right.
I saw a handful of people in here streaming matches themselves earlier, so.
Watch out. Watch out. That's going to be upsetting. And it was just a funny shot coming out of that pocket. That 2 was so deep. It was very hard to kind of predict what was going to happen or how the cue ball was going to react. He knew he had to draw it, but the funny thing about draw is one of those strokes that you have to apply a little bit to have it react how you want. And whenever it gets away from you just a little too much, things can go wrong.
Got a jump cue out.
Yeah, he was 1 for 1 earlier on the jump cue, I believe. Or 1 for 2, excuse me. Missed one ball. Problem here is he's got to go over the 5. Wow, there you go. What a great shot.
His opponent's clapping for that one.
That was an awesome shot.
Yeah.
So he's got a choice here again. He can just come 1 rail up. Probably that's the best way for the 5 in the side. Okay, he wants that to go a little bit. And the only problem is the reason why he wanted that to go is because the 7 ball up there. The 7 could really pose some problems here trying to come back down for the 6. Okay, that's why he just took the roll shot there. And going to have to make a nice one here on the 6 and draw the cue ball back. I'll tell you, if he can shake off that 9 ball of last game, he really played the last several racks really nice. So just realize that was something unfortunate and unforeseen on that scratch and just, move on. Okay, he fell kind of straight in here, so he's trying to simplify things. Probably draw 1 rail out for the 8 in the corner. I got a lot on that. Got a lot on that, so he's going to have a little angle on the 8. So I'd say a tester here. Well,
Alabama just scored a touchdown.
Some Alabama fans. Did I see LSU was up 10-0?
Yeah, I just saw that. It looks like it's going to be 10-7 now.
Well, I think that quarterback for LSU is for real.
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
Nice stroke there and a nice shot. And just a step away from Hill here on the 3rd round of the winner's side. Mike Leigh and Jose Del Rio.
All right, so Jose comes right back after that scratch on the 9 ball and takes this rack to make it Hill.
Yeah, what an out.
We're down to 1 game to decide this match.
What an out with that jump shot on the 3.
Yeah. That's a little Mosconi-esque.
Yeah, the jump shot might have been the motto of last year's Mosconi Cup. There were so many incredible ones and
man, I'm
some
excited
big
about
moments.
that. Getting pumped. Just a couple weeks away. All right, Jose.
Got one down. well, can't really tell how much space. Yeah, no space between there, so very difficult to throw that one in enough to make it. Is he looking at trying to make the 5? That would be one heck of a shot, just barely thinning the 1 and coming off and making the 5 with the cue ball. Don't anticipate a rollout, but you never know. If he kind of figures out that he doesn't really have any percentage play the way the balls are sitting here, even though he can see the 1, so a lot of people have to realize that sometimes you can see the object ball that you need to shoot at, and a rollout situation is still the right play. Just because you don't want to shoot, kind of haphazardly.
Jose really wanted to take his time. Obviously, this rack will decide the match, so neither of these players going to want to make an unforced error.
And just like the ladies' event here in the Open, we're going to see a lot more of these close ones as the tournament goes on. Players are playing great. And here we go. Even though he can see the 1, he's right on top of it. He's rolling out just because, well, he's rolling out a long ways, and he's not going to like that one. He wanted to roll out to the jump shot. He didn't want to get behind the 7. He wanted to get just behind the 6 is what he was thinking, and now
he's going to have him shoot it. Mike's not going to take that.
No, he's in a devastating position here. Hill.
Mike said thanks, but no thanks. As Jose likely expected.
He said, I know you got something up your sleeve, but you're still going to have to show me.
All right, let's see what Jose can do here.
Yeah.
Make some magic happen.
See, the problem here is if he kicks to that side rail where the 8's at, you can see if he hits anything on the bottom of the 1 or this side of the 1, he's going to scratch in the side most likely. So I think, well, he's gone to the jump cue anyways. So this is very difficult here. We'll change camera angle so you can get a good view of this, but you saw where he was at. He's a little bit behind the 7 as well. So he's got to jump and get over the 7, but also carry the 3 and 6. Not easy. Yeah.
Fouled and scratched.
Yeah, it was just a difficult situation right there.
Well, now he'll have to sit back and hope for another opportunity here. Mike will obviously have ball in hand.
And I think, in Jose's defense, I think he made the right decision rolling out from where he was. It just got away from him just 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah.
So.
Man, it's crazy how close sometimes.
Well, look at this. Look at this. Taking on a pretty tough combination here. I mean, this 9 is not that close to the hole. Yeah. I like his decision here.
Maybe he just wanted to make Jose's heart race a little bit quick.
Yeah. Actually, Jose probably thought he had a glimpse of hope now that the man's shooting the combination.
All right.
He's going to draw back, it looks like. All right, just kind of stayed there. I think the 6 goes by the 9 and the 8. So as far as playing position from the 5 to the 6, no problem. Just doesn't want to get in a missable position here. So he should come 2 rails. Oh, he just played 1 rail. So this is going to get quite thin on the 3 and really a scratch shot both ways, I think. This is very difficult, Jason. I think he's really sitting on the scratch both positions, meaning either corner he shoots to. He may be able to get to the low rail, shooting this to the right, our right. But watch out. Can he get position? Can he get by the 9? Oh, he hit it great. He hit it great.
Well, for those that have been tuning into this match, you got your money's worth.
Yeah, and both these guys will be back. Of course, obviously one on the winners, one on the losers. But All right, he got perfect there. Anytime you're shooting to a portion of the pocket, you'd like to have that straight in like that. And now all he's got to do is draw the cue ball back some 5 or 6 inches to have a nice shot on the 7 and a nice angle to come back over for the 8. Again, you just don't want to get missable on the 8. You can see the 9 very handy and easy to get at, so all about getting somewhat straight in on the 8 here. And that's exactly what he's done. So both guys improved as the match went along, which I thought was a good sign for both players. A little unfortunate for Jose on a couple shots. Get the extension out, I think. Good
Mike
chance
pockets the 8.
this last 9 ball might be conceded, but Jose said shoot it anyways.
There it is, folks. Mike Leigh will continue on the undefeated side of the bracket. Jose Del Rio, after a pretty strong match, just a couple of mistakes there, he'll be shifted over to the other side of the bracket, the one-loss side, so he's still very much alive in this tournament. Jeremy Jones, Jason Bowman here from the U.S. Amateur Championship. Appreciate you folks tuning in. We'll be back in just a few minutes with continuing coverage of this year's event. Thanks for joining us.